Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I've wasted more money on pyramid schemes than Le'Veon Bell gave up this season, Perna. I'm talking Amway, Herbalife, Advocare, Paxton Lynch. I bought into every single one of those pyramid schemes. It's why I refuse to travel to Egypt to see the greatest pyramid schemes of them all, the Sphinx. Today, I will predict every NFL game with accuracy that looks about as good as the new Robin Hood movie.
Really inspiring. Thanks.
Big shout out to @WillKey6 on Twitter. Without him, this episode would not have happened this week, as I am battling the sniffles or whatever the fuck I have. Anyway, week 11, NFL picks. That's Good Sports. If you could do me a favor and subscribe here, that would be amazing, and maybe even thumbs up the video. But first, this episode is sponsored by BetDSI.com, one of the best and most trusted sports books out there. Use my code GS100 when you sign up at BetDSI, and they will match your initial deposit up to $1,000. That is a lot of money to match to gamble on sports, esports. You can do whatever the fuck you want there. In this episode, I'll go over all the over-unders, point spreads, give you that info. Note, though, I got a message on Twitter from a guy in Europe. Make sure you check to see what their payouts are if you're overseas in a different country using BetDSI. I believe their preferred payment method in Europe was Bitcoin or something, so check that out. Read the fine print before, you try to bet money. We'll start here with the Carolina Panthers versus Detroit Lions. Carolina 4.5-point favorites with an over-under of 49.5. Both of these teams got their doors blown the fuck down last week. Carolina lost 52-21 in Pittsburgh, and the Lions got Trubisky'd to the tune of a 34-22 loss to the Bears. The Panthers are still in good shape, but that's 3 in a row for the Lions, who haven't won since trading Golden Tate and since Matt Patricia corrected that reporter's posture.
Yeah, do me a favor, just kind of sit up.
Rest assured, though, if they had won, sit up would have been the new
Relax.
Or
we're on to Cincinnati.
Posture would be the new health craze. The military would have thousands of new recruits, and scoliosis would be a thing of the past, just like mad cow disease. I do think the Panthers are the team that is both on to Cincinnati and relaxed. I mean, Cam Newton spent most of his press conference this week talking about wine, wishing his superpower was being a salmonella expert or wine taster for you idiots out there.
We have a sommelier on staff. I had just recently watched the documentary on Netflix, Somm, and that was just so cool to me. I feel like if I had a gift or a hidden talent outside of playing a instrument, I would want to be a sommelier.
Cam Newton, one of the best athletes on earth, wishes he could play an instrument and taste wine like an expert.
And it is relaxing. It is something that kind of warms the soul, so to speak.
Just goes to show you, no matter how successful you are, you'll always want to get drunk more.
I'm one of the, hey, excuse me, have you seen this wine right here? I think I'm on Sauvignon Blanc right now.
I'm taking the Panthers, but if the Lions win, it's because Matt Patricia wore shorts in the freezing cold. Dallas Cowboys at Atlanta Falcons. Falcons 3-point favorites, over-under set at 48.5. Just when you go and think the Falcons might be able to overcome their injuries and make a push for the playoffs in the NFC, they lose to the Browns. It's like tripping over the tiniest of pebbles the second you see the finish line and falling flat on your face, and then getting back up and getting trampled by a herd of gazelles, and then getting back up and getting hit in the face with a wrench. What I'm saying is you'd have to be Michael Myers to survive a loss to the Browns. The Jets couldn't do it, the Ravens couldn't do it, and now the Falcons look like they're back at square one. In fact, if I can illustrate in one play what it looks like to lose to the Browns, it's this. Tom tripping over the tiniest of pebbles only to get trampled by a herd of gazelles. The only team I believe in less than Atlanta in this game is Dallas. Give me the Falcons and a win and a covering of the spread. The victorious Tennessee Titans versus Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 1.5-point favorites at home, over under 49. The Titans beat the Patriots last week by 24 whole points. I'm legitimately not sure if that's because the Titans are a good team or if the only team they actually game planned for this season was the Patriots. Given the way the Lions season has gone since beating the Patriots, I'm inclined to think it might be the second option. I want to tighten up. I want to milk the Marigota. I want to see opposing teams disabled by Vrabel. Run with that last one, Titans country. But I'm going to bet on Andrew Luck and Frank Reich to continue to win, despite playing against better teams with better rosters. The AFC South is like the upside down from Stranger Things. Flip the standings upside down, and you have what many people thought the AFC South would look like right now. Colts. Cincinnati Bengals versus Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 2-point favorites, over under 43. John Harbaugh's future is uncertain, as it appears his time with the Ravens, who he's coached since the Bush administration, appears to be coming to an end. The only other coaches that have been around since then are Bill Belichick, Mike McCarthy, and the coach on the other side in this game, Marvin Lewis, who just hired Hugh Jackson to be his special assistant to the head coach. The only special assistants I can think of that did anything are Dwight Schrute, Alfred from Batman, and Smithers. A lot of coaching changes happening with the Bengals. They fired defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, but brought in the winning tradition and offensive genius Hugh Jackson established in Cleveland, and we'll have Marvin Lewis calling the defense. Is AJ Green still hurt? Yep. Well, then I predict the assistant to the regional managers lose to the Ravens on the road. Houston Texans at Washington Redskins potatoes. Texans 3-point favorites, over under 42. For two teams leading their division, this has to be the most boring game of the week. J.J. Watt versus Alex Smith is like ordering toast. Plain, no butter, no jelly, and just a little burnt to go along with the black coffee I bought from the fucking gas station. Oh, how dare you make fun of J.J. Watt? Look at this picture of him and his grandma and great-grandma. Oh shit, you're right, that's adorable. Go Texans! Go Texans and their plain Jane persona to beat the senior citizens of the NFL. Why do you think Watt visited his great-grandma this week? For tips on how to beat the Washington Redskins potatoes. Oakland Raiders versus Arizona Cardinals. Neither team is favored, and the over-under is fuck me. Which team really wants that number 1 draft pick? At this point, whoever gets the first pick might just take Zion Williamson. We'll find out when they both try and lose on Sunday. I'll take the Cardinals because they're at home, and because they are actually 5-point favorites in this game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus New York Giants. The Giants, surprisingly, a 1-point favorite with an over-under of 32. The Golden State Warriors unveiled a new ticket package where you can't actually sit down or see the game. That's how I think the Bucs Giants would best be experienced. Except every seat has Booger McFarland directly in front of it. 76,000 Booger McFarlands. Just think about it. In terms of season-long stats, one of these is not like the others. It's Tampa, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. I'll roll with Ryan Fitzpatrick like I do almost every week and regret it at halftime. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Steelers 5-point favorites, over under 46.5. With Le'Veon Bell officially AWOL, Steelers players have taken to looting his locker. I don't know if this is a lack of common decency or an uptick in looting caused by the popularity of Red Dead 2, but I know I'd be upset if that were me. Mostly because my locker in high school consisted of a pair of steel underwear, not comfortable or very attractive, but impossible to be wedgied in, and a picture of the Holy Trinity, my mom, my sister, and Jenny McCarthy. But enough about me. The Jags have much bigger problems than the Steelers. This was supposed to be a marquee game until they went and fucked it all up, throwing interceptions off their own helmets, running afoul of the law in London, which sounds like the plot of a 90s comedy starring Hugh Grant, and fumbling away a winnable game to the Colts. The Panthers' Thomas Davis thanked the Steelers for humbling them Thursday night.
Hey, way to humble us.
Man, you kidding, man? Hey, we humble enough. We didn't have enough of it.
Jalen Ramsey might also thank the Steelers if they beat him so badly that they decide to bench Blake Bortles for the rest of the year. Philadelphia Eagles versus New Orleans Saints. Saints a big 7.5-point favorite, over under 56, which is not the highest of the week. Just like the Jags-Steelers game, this game was supposed to be a much bigger deal before the season. Center Jason Kelce said the Eagles are lacking accountability. I think after you beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, you should be able to do whatever you want for the rest of your career. If you want to go play in that weird sorcerer's outfit you wore at the parade, Jason, you have my blessing because you're a goddamn hero. You should get a key to the city. You should get a key to every city. Hell, you should get a key to my house. The Saints are coming off of beating the Stripes off of the Bengals in Cincinnati, which was the worst massacre in that city since a certain zoo incident that will not be spoken of. Matt Damon. The Saints have won their last 8 games since losing their opener to the Buccaneers, a game that feels like it was played several centuries ago in a galaxy light years away. I'm all in on the Saints as the best team in the league right now. Plus, I like the addition of Brandon Marshall even more so than, say, Des Bryant. Saints by 7, or 17, or 27. Really hard to predict. Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears. Bears 2.5-point favorites, over under 44.5. This is a great chance to find out if Mitch "Titties" Trubisky and the Bears are for real. Mike Lombardi apparently doesn't think so, which prompted Trubisky himself to answer, "Who? Who the fuck's that guy?" Keep in mind that Trubisky has a higher passer rating than Aaron Rodgers, more touchdowns than Tom Brady, and a higher yards per attempt than both of those guys. He's getting slept on only because there are guys like Mahomes, Breeze, Rivers, and Goff who are all having career years for their respective teams. The former Vikings defensive end, Alan Page, is being honored with the Presidential Medal of Honor, which makes me wonder which current or former Vikings would make the best Supreme Court justice. I think out of former Vikings, John Randall would be a great choice if, and only if, he wore the same amount of ridiculous eye black when he is on the Supreme Court bench. Randy Moss would order each fine to be paid in
Take cash, homie.
And Kirk Cousins would probably end each ruling with, "And that's why I never cheated on my wife. And that's why I'm taking away women's right to vote." Whoa, and for that sexist bullshit, I'm picking the Bears. The game of the week. Game of the century. Kansas City Chiefs versus Los Angeles Rams. LA 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 63. 63! This game has been moved from its original venue back to Los Angeles. So instead of falling into the quicksand that is the turf at Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, the Rams and Chiefs players can breathe in an entire tree's worth of smoke in Southern California. Patrick Mahomes might be a little preoccupied on the eve of the biggest game of his career after a person wearing a Patrick Mahomes skin killed him in Fortnite this week. Not his real skin, like some Silence of the Lambs shit or anything, but his Fortnite skin, not to be confused with purchasable foreskin skin in Red Dead 2. There's some fucked up shit in that game. Getting killed by himself is the only way the Chiefs can lose, by beating themselves, and not by beating Goff. Wow. We've really come full circle here at That's Good Sports, haven't we? With an over-under of 63, we should expect very little defense and a shootout of the century. If you simply average each team's points per game, 35 for Kansas City, 33 for LA, 63 is a low estimate. But then again, games like this typically disappoint and turn into weird 17-14 defensive battles. I'll take the over though, and I'll also take the Chiefs, only because Cooper Kupp is done for the season with the Rams. And if I'm wrong, if the Rams win, it will be because Aaron Donald, Dante Fowler, and Ndamukong Suh actually tackle Patrick Mahomes before he throws the ball to any one of his thousands of receiving running back weapons. Something that has been very hard to do this season on Mahomes. And those are your Week 11 game picks. Please subscribe here to That's Good Sports on YouTube. If you share this video on social media, that's a huge help. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon Perna. Again, big shout out to @Wilkie6. Follow him on Twitter for helping me put this episode together. He really picked up the slack this week.